right. So another thing we want to share is things which you had known or things are important before you get married. Another thing in our eyes is premarital counseling. Premarital counseling is something that we had done with 3, maybe 4 different counselors,
Yeah.
and it really came in handy. So we would meet at a church for like 10 weeks for premarital counseling class. And then we would meet at church it was the mouths, the couple
Yes.
who we really look up to. And then my auntie, and then our former pastor,
Yes.
Dr. Brazier, Pastor Brazier. So there's a lot of different people. So
Yeah, I think premarital counseling is important. I know that some couples do it and some don't, but I think it's important because it helps you to talk about things that maybe you wouldn't even think about talking
that's
about.
right.
It doesn't even matter if you already living together. I'm telling you, you're going to discover stuff about each other that it is important to work through before you say I do. Because we truly believe when you say I do, when you get to that point, you say I do with someone, it's because you really are saying this for the Lord, and it is a commitment, it is a vow, and it's something you want to honor for as long as possible, truly until death do you part. So
That's
the
right.
more that you can work through early on, the better. Premarital counseling, I think it gave us tools.
It definitely did.
It gave us insight into each other. We had homework that we had to talk about. We talked about communication, we talked about finances, we talked about sex. We were not intimate together before marriage. So we had to talk about like what are our even expectations around sex. Like I remember being asked, like, how often do you see us doing it? And being intimate with each other versus how often I felt intimacy should happen. Like, believe it or not, those are things you should talk about. You should talk about it.
Absolutely. And a really good counselor or counselors will really dig a little bit more into what you perhaps may not have realized about marriage or may not know about marriage. And things about childhood, how you grew up, all of those very, very important things that we don't really necessarily think about. A good counselor or counselors will discuss that and have you guys think about it and talk about it together.
Now, one thing I do want to mention is it's awesome that you as a man are open to going to counseling, because sometimes men aren't really as open to going to counseling. What advice would you give if you are facing that scenario with someone you are looking to get involved with?
My advice, well, just to be open. But the thing I think is important is that I want to be able to, be a man of my word. My vows, when I say, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, and to death do us part, I meant that. And we got to be men of our word. So we willing to invest and do whatever we need to do to keep our marriage, to keep it thriving. I think pride gets in the way sometimes, and you just got to be, humble to say, okay, you know what? This person is here to help us, not for us to just pour everything out, like just really
get in my
our business. Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
It's about the end goal. The end game is about someone really helping to have your relationship thrive.
Yeah.
And on another level. That's what it's about.
It's nothing like an objective mediator, someone who's not on your side, someone's not on their side, someone who's objective, someone who can help you see things about yourself that you may not see. Or like we said, help you to work through stuff that you may not have worked through. Because let me tell you, let's be real, it's going to come out. It's going to come up. You're going to have to work through it, whether you work through it early or you work through it when you get into the relationship and you're married and the day-to-day, it doesn't go away. I was bad about that. That's another thing I think I would add to it. Like, I probably wasn't as good earlier on in our relationship of working through conflict or having some of those difficult conversations that we had to, really have to have a stronger relationship. Like I probably would like want it to be great all the time, want to be happy all the time, want it to be just, peace. And you don't want to have to talk about some of the hard topics, but you have to talk about some of that stuff.
Yep.
You have to in order to work through it as a couple. So I just would recommend that.
And another thing, just keep it real, we, men, we think about the money a lot of times.
That's good too.
So I'd rather spend money on a premarital counselor than spend money at the divorce court.
On a lawyer.
On a lawyer, exactly. I'd rather spend
That's
money
the truth today.
on a premarital counselor than spend money, a lot more money, on a lawyer. So
it's
just
worth
said
the
it.
investment. Hope
Worth
you enjoyed this first of the episodes of our unscripted series and just talking a little about things you should know before you get hitched, before you get married.
That's right.
Blessings. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Please like.
We'll see you soon. Stay tuned. This is going to be a really good series. So you want to make sure you catch all the episodes and share with someone. God bless. Take care.